At 11:47 that night, 20 children sat inside my classroom and waited for me to decide which 10 of them deserved to exist. They did not cry. They did not beg. They simply watched me. On my desk lay an old attendance ledger. 20 first names had been written across 2 yellow pages. The instructions beneath them were simple. Before midnight, circle 10 names. The chosen children will receive families, histories, and futures. The others will be permanently removed from possibility. A boy in a burgundy sweater raised his hand. "Miss Warren?" I could barely speak. "Yes? If you refuse to choose, will you disappear too?" Before I could answer, the school bell rang. Once. The windows turned black. And somewhere outside, the empty school bus started its engine. 6 hours earlier, I had believed Wrenwood Elementary was an ordinary school. Old, certainly. The original brick building had opened in 1926. It had narrow hallways, wooden classroom doors, and heating pipes that knocked loudly during winter. But ordinary. I had taught 3rd grade there for 7 years. My classroom was number 12. 22 students, 22 desks, 22 names in my attendance book. That Friday, the last student left at 3:15. I stayed behind to grade spelling tests. A storm was approaching from the mountains, and the sky over Bellweather had turned the dull gray color that usually came before snow. At 5:30, the custodian waved through my doorway. "Don't stay too late, Alice. I'll be done soon." He hesitated. "Principal Vale didn't tell you." "Tell me what?" But before he could answer, the intercom clicked. Principal Henry Vale's voice filled the empty school. "Miss Warren, please report to the main office." The custodian looked relieved. Then he left without explaining. Vale was waiting beside the office window. He had changed into an old brown jacket I had never seen before. On his desk lay a brass handbell, a ring of iron keys, and a yellowed class photograph. "Are you comfortable teaching one additional lesson tonight?" he asked. "To whom?" "A visiting group? At this hour?" "They arrive every 25 years. I laughed. He did not. At exactly 6:30, headlights appeared beyond the school entrance. An old yellow bus rolled slowly out of the falling snow. It had no route number, no school district name, no license plate. The bus stopped beside the front steps. Its folding door opened. 20 children stepped out. They wore clothes from different decades. One boy had suspenders and polished shoes. A girl wore a bright windbreaker from the 1980s. Another child carried a metal lunchbox decorated with a cartoon that had not aired in 50 years. They entered the school in 2 silent lines. None of them wore coats. Snow touched their hair but did not melt. The last child was a girl in a red sweater. She looked at me as she passed. She had my eyes. Principal Vale led the children to my classroom. There were only 22 desks, but 20 had already been arranged into 5 perfect rows. I had not moved them. Each child sat without being told where. Vale handed me a thin folder. Inside were 20 enrollment cards. Every card contained only a first name. No last names, no addresses, no dates of birth, no parents, no emergency contacts. Where did they come from? I asked. You are not supposed to ask. How long is the lesson? Until 11:55. That's more than 5 hours. You must learn enough about them to choose fairly. I stared at him. Choose what? He looked toward the students. Several were listening. I will explain later. Vale stepped into the hallway. I caught the door before it closed. You're leaving me alone with them? They are not dangerous. Then why are you afraid? His face tightened. Because children do not have to be dangerous to change your life. He closed the door. For the first few minutes, I followed my usual routine. I wrote my name on the board. Miss Warren! The boy in the burgundy sweater raised his hand. You wrote it the same way last time. My name? Yes. When was last time? Before you were born. Several children smiled, not mockingly, as though he had mentioned something obvious. His enrollment card said, Noah. I asked everyone to introduce themselves. They stood one at a time. Noah liked astronomy but had never seen the moon. Clara remembered living beside a railroad that had never been built. Samuel said his mother collected blue dishes, but he could not remember her face. Mara said she had been waiting longer than the others. How long? I asked. 25 years. The girl in the red sweater introduced herself last. My name is Alice. The room became very quiet. I looked at the folder. Her card also said Alice. Do you have another name? She shook her head. But I think it used to be Warren. I felt the blood leave my face. The other children watched me carefully. I told myself it was a trick. Principal Vale must have given them information about me. The clothing and the strange bus were part of some elaborate school tradition. I began a simple drawing assignment. Draw your home. The children worked in silence. Every pencil moved at exactly the same speed. 10 minutes later, I collected the pages. Every child had drawn the same house. A tall wooden house standing deep inside a forest. 3 stories, a steep roof, 20 upstairs windows, a path leading to a black front door. In every drawing, a yellow school bus waited outside. Some children had drawn themselves watching from the windows. Others had drawn empty windows with names written beneath them. The little girl named Alice handed me her page. There were 21 figures standing in front of the house. 20 children. And me? What is this place? I asked. Noah answered. It's where we live when no one chooses us. Who chooses you? He pointed toward me. The teacher. The classroom clock stopped at 6:59. Then the intercom turned on. A child's voice whispered through every speaker in the building. Attendance has begun. Attendance has begun. At 7:15, I left the classroom and found Principal Vale in the archive room. He was unlocking an old filing cabinet. What are those children? Possibilities. That isn't an answer. It is the only accurate one. I showed him the drawings. He refused to touch them. house appears in every class. Every class? Vale opened the cabinet. Inside were folders dated 25 years apart. 1926, 1951, 1956, 2001. The final folder was labeled 2026. Each contained a photograph of 20 children seated in the same classroom. Their clothing changed. The teacher changed. But the students were always blurred around the edges as though they had moved during the exposure. In the 2001 photograph, a young teacher stood behind them. I recognized our former principal, Margaret Bell. And in the front row sat an 8-year-old girl wearing a red sweater. Me? I dropped the photograph. That's impossible. Vale picked it up. 25 years ago, Margaret Bell chose 10 children. I was already alive. No, after she chose you, Bellweather remembered that you had always been alive. My parents received a daughter, photographs, medical records, and memories. They raised me. Yes. They loved me. Yes. Then I existed. Vale looked exhausted. The choice makes existence complete, it does not make it false. I remembered how few photographs my parents had of me as a baby, how my mother could never agree with my father about the hospital where I was born, how every story of my early childhood began when I was 8. What happened to the other 10? Vale looked through the glass window in the archive door. They returned to the house. Until tonight. Some return during later classes, most do not. Mara said she waited 25 years. Vale found another picture. A black-haired girl with a silver star clip sat beside my younger self. Mara was written beneath her image. Margaret Bell chose you instead of her. My stomach turned. How am I supposed to choose 10 children? You teach them, you observe them. At 11:30, the ledger appears. And if I refuse? No teacher has refused. A school bus engine started outside. We looked through the archive window. The children were leaving my classroom. They walked in a silent line toward the front doors. What are they doing? Recess. It's dark and snowing. They follow the old schedule. The children boarded the bus. I ran outside. Wait, the door closed before I reached it. The bus turned toward Wrenwood Road. That road had been closed for years. A fallen bridge blocked it less than a mile from the school. I followed in my car. The snow became heavier among the trees. The bus remained just ahead of me. Its rear lights glowed through the storm. Then it turned onto the closed road. I followed. There was no fallen bridge. The road continued through a forest I had never seen. After several miles, the house from the drawings appeared between the trees. Every upstairs window was illuminated. Children stood behind the glass, hundreds of them. The bus stopped at the black front door. My 20 students stepped out. The girl in the red sweater remained on the bus. She looked through the back window at me. Then the bus, then the house vanished. My car was suddenly parked at the edge of the collapsed bridge. On the passenger seat lay a red notebook. The first page contained a message written in a child's handwriting. Please do not choose me again. When I returned to Wrenwood, the children were already inside the classroom. Their shoes were dry. Their desks were exactly where I had left them. No one mentioned the bus ride. Young Alice watched the red notebook in my hand. "Is this yours?" I asked. She nodded. "Why don't you want me to choose you?" "Because you already did." "I don't understand." She looked toward Noah. He answered for her. "Every chosen child leaves someone behind." Principal Vale brought dinner from the cafeteria, 20 cartons of milk, 20 sandwiches. The children ate, but the food never became smaller. Each time I looked away, the sandwiches were whole again. Vale placed a large attendance ledger on my desk. Its leather cover was cracked and darkened with age. Inside were the names selected in 1926, 1951, 1976, and 2001. 10 names per year. The 2001 page contained my name, Alice Warren. Beside it was a second column. I looked at Principal Vale. "Mara is related to you? She was supposed to be my daughter." His voice broke slightly. "My wife and I tried to have children in the reality before the selection. Mara existed, Margaret Bell chose you. The town rewrote itself. My wife and I remembered that we never had a daughter. But you remember her?" "I was present during the class. The teachers and witnesses keep fragments." "Why did Margaret choose me?" "She believed your future would save someone." "Did it?" Vale looked at the classroom. "You became a teacher. You cared for hundreds of children. That doesn't justify erasing Mara." "No choice justifies the erasure. That is why the system gives the decision to one person." "Who created this system?" "The school." He explained that Wrenwood had been built beside an older structure discovered in the forest. The house. It existed outside ordinary history. All unrealized children gathered there. Not ghosts, not dead children. Lives that never received the correct sequence of events required to begin. In 1926, the school's founder discovered that 20 children could be brought into reality every 25 years. But only 10 could remain. More than 10 caused contradictions. Families remembered multiple pasts, buildings occupied the same land. People woke with incompatible lives. The selection protected the town. "Why continue it?" I asked. "Because Bellweather now depends on it. Half the families in this town exist because someone was chosen." "And the other children?" "The house keeps them." "Forever?" Vale did not answer. At 9 o'clock, the children began another assignment without being asked. They wrote letters to their possible parents. Noah wrote to a woman who would have met his father if she had not changed trains in 1953. Clara wrote to parents whose house had been destroyed before they could move to Vermont. Samuel wrote to a mother who had chosen not to continue a relationship that would have led to his birth. Mara wrote only one sentence. "Dear Dad, I am still waiting for you to remember me." Vale read it, then left the room. At 10:15, I opened the red notebook. It contained memories from the life I had replaced. Mara's life. Birthday parties with Principal Vale and his wife. A bedroom painted pale blue. A silver star hair clip. Her first day at Wrenwood. On the final page was a photograph of adult Mara. She was standing inside my classroom, teaching my students. Beneath it, young Alice had written, "Only one of us can have this life." At 10:30, Noah asked permission to use the bathroom. Instead, he walked toward the school exit. The other children followed. Principal Vale tried to lock the doors. Every lock opened by itself. The bus waited outside. Its engine was running. The driver looked directly at me. I understood the invitation. This time, I boarded with the children. Principal Vale came too. The bus traveled along Wrenwood Road. Snow stopped falling the moment we entered the forest. Noah sat beside me. "What happens inside the house?" I asked. "We wait." "For how long?" "There is no time there unless the bus arrives." "Are there other children?" "All the ones no one picked." The house appeared beyond the windshield. It was larger than in the drawings. Dozens of chimneys rose above the roof. The windows extended farther in both directions than the building should have allowed. The driver opened the door. Inside, the entrance hall was filled with shoes, thousands of pairs. Small boots from the 19th century. Sneakers, sandals, baby shoes. Every staircase led to another floor of bedrooms. Children watched us through open doors. Some wore clothes from centuries earlier. Others wore designs I did not recognize, perhaps from futures that would never happen. The house contained every childhood Bellweather had refused. A woman waited in the central hall. She looked like Margaret Bell, our former principal. She had died 8 years earlier. "You chose me," I said. "I selected your name." "Why?" "Because you asked me to." She pointed toward young Alice. My child self stood near the stairs. She had already experienced one possible life inside the house. She knew Mara would become a teacher. She knew you would become one too. She believed you would eventually return and end the selection. You erased Mara because I asked you to. You were 8, you were afraid. Mara stood beside Principal Vale. For the first time, he touched her shoulder. His hand passed partly through her. "Can all of them leave?" I asked Margaret. "For a few hours." "What happens if I select no one?" "The 20 return here." "What happens if I select everyone?" "Bellweather receives every life at once." "Will people survive?" "They will become the people they might have been." That isn't an answer. It is the nature of possibility. The house began ringing with school bells. Every child in every room turned toward us. Margaret handed me a piece of chalk. "There is one more option." She led me to a wall containing thousands of names, teachers. Each name belonged to someone who had made a selection. Some names had faded completely. What option? The teacher can remain here instead. And the children? The class enters the world without an anchor. Reality decides where they belong. Why didn't previous teachers do that? Margaret looked toward the endless bedrooms. Because the world forgets the teacher ever existed. Principal Vale grabbed my arm. "No." Mara looked at him. "Dad." The words stopped him. He had waited 25 years to hear it. Young Alice placed the red notebook in my hands. "You don't have to choose me again." For the first time that night, she looked like a frightened child. Not a mystery, not a duplicate, just a child who had been asked to justify her own existence. We returned to the classroom at 11:38. The attendance ledger lay open on my desk. 20 names. 20 circles waiting to be drawn. The children sat silently. Principal Vale stood near Mara. He no longer tried to hide his tears. The intercom announced, "Selection begins in 20 minutes." I picked up the pen. Noah watched me. Clara held her unfinished letter. Samuel stared at the family photograph he had drawn. Young Alice and Mara sat side by side. Two possible teachers, two possible daughters. Two lives that the town had decided could not exist together. I circled Noah's name. The lights brightened. Somewhere in Bellweather, a family began receiving memories of him. Then I crossed the circle out. The lights dimmed again. I circled all 20 names. The ink vanished. A message appeared at the bottom of the page. 10 only. I tore out the page. The paper repaired itself. I closed the ledger. It opened. Principal Vale whispered, "Alice, midnight is coming." I know. What are you going to do? What every teacher tells children to do when a rule is wrong. I walked to the blackboard. Across it, I wrote all 20 names. Full names began appearing beneath my chalk. Noah Bennett, Clara Mayfield, Samuel Ross, Mara Vale, Alice Warren. The school shook. The hallway stretched beyond the classroom door. Family photographs appeared along the walls. New houses formed outside. The intercom voice became louder. Invalid attendance. I continued writing. Each child received a surname, a birthday, parents, a place in the town. Principal Vale helped me. He wrote Mara's name. His hand trembled so badly that she guided the chalk with him. At 11:58, 19 names covered the board. Only young Alice remained. She stood beside me. "You don't have to write mine." "Why?" "Because you already had your turn. You are not my replacement." She looked toward the window. Outside, the bus waited. "You are me." "No." I said, "You are the child I used to be. I'm responsible for what happens now." I wrote, "Alice Warren." The clock reached 11:59. All 20 children became solid. Their clothes changed. Their faces filled with recognition. They remembered parents waiting at home. Bedrooms, pets, birthdays, lives. But the classroom door vanished. The school bell began ringing continuously. The driver stood outside the window. The dark cap hid the face. A gloved hand pointed toward me. The message in the ledger changed. A class requires a teacher. I understood. The children could enter the world, but someone had to take their place in the house. Principal Vale stepped forward. "I'll go." Mara grabbed his hand. "No, I just got you back." I looked at my classroom, at the names, at the children, at the life Margaret Bell had once given me. "I was chosen so I could become a teacher," I said. Young Alice nodded. "Then teach us one last thing." "What?" "How to leave." I opened the classroom windows. Snow rushed inside. Beyond them was not the schoolyard. It was Bellweather at sunrise. Houses, streets, and families were forming below. "Go home," I told them. The children climbed through the windows one by one. When Mara reached the frame, she turned toward me. "I'll take care of your class." She disappeared into the morning. The final child left at midnight. My classroom vanished. I found myself standing inside the forest house, alone. The bus driver waited at the front door. "Where do I go now?" I asked. The driver answered, "Wherever a year still needs a teacher." Bellweather woke with 20 new histories. No one remembered the evening class. They remembered children who had always lived there. Noah Bennett lived above his parents' bookstore. Clara Mayfield had a room filled with model trains. Samuel Ross played baseball with 2 older brothers. Principal Vale and his wife had raised Mara. Their family photographs contained birthdays, vacations, and Christmas mornings spanning 25 years. Wrenwood Elementary had a new teacher, Miss Mara Vale. She taught 3rd grade in classroom 12, my classroom. My students loved her. They did not remember me. My name disappeared from the staff records. My apartment belonged to someone else. My parents' photograph showed an empty space where I had once stood. The town had made room for everyone except the person who opened the door. From the house, I could see Bellweather through its windows. Each window showed a different version of the town. In one, I had never become a teacher. In another, I was married with children. In another, Mara and I had grown up as sisters. In another, Wrenwood had burned down before either of us was selected. Children filled the bedrooms behind me. Not only the 20 from my class. Thousands remained. They asked questions. They showed me drawings. They told me the names they hoped to receive. I began teaching them. Not spelling, not mathematics. I taught them to remember themselves. Every child wrote down 3 things. A name they wanted, a place they hoped to see, a person they believed could love them. Without time, I do not know how long I stayed. Maybe a day, maybe 25 years. Then the school bus returned. Its headlights shone through the forest. The driver opened the front door. "Is there another class?" I asked. The driver nodded. "Where?" The destination sign above the windshield changed. Bellweather, 1976. That class already happened. Not correctly. I boarded. The bus was empty, except for one student sitting in the back. A girl with straight black hair and a silver star hair clip. Mara. Not the adult teacher. The child who had once been left behind. "You're in Bellweather now," I said. "One version of me is." "Why are you here?" "Because there are always more versions." The driver looked at us through the mirror. "Which year should we try next?" Outside, the forest disappeared. Snow covered a schoolyard beneath a dark sky. Wrenwood Elementary stood ahead. Its windows were glowing. Through the glass, I saw Margaret Belt preparing her classroom for the evening lesson of 1976. She looked frightened. She was waiting for someone to tell her the rules. The bus stopped. I understood what the house expected from me. Not to repeat the selection, to reach every teacher before they made it. I took the old attendance ledger from the seat beside me. Every page was blank. Then names began appearing. Children from 1976.
Children from 1951.
Children from years that had not happened yet. At the bottom of the final page was my own name. This time, it was not listed as a student. It was listed as teacher in transit.
I stepped off the bus.
The snow did not touch the ground.
The school bell rang once.
And 20 children who had never existed began walking toward the light.